trying to finalize award stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, I guess we're
All right.
live.
Let's
It'll
see.
take a minute.
Hopefully. Yeah. All right. Okay. No, it's still not. Oh, this is gonna be another one of those. This is we'll call this bonus content if this is getting picked up before
Yeah,
we actually go live.
if you're hearing this, then welcome to a peek behind the curtains.
Exactly, exactly. Maybe maybe send us like a message. We should do. Oh, here we are. Live.
Cool. So we're live.
We are live. What's up, everyone?
Oh,
Welcome
what's
to
up?
What's in Your Earbuds Monday. Oh shit! Exactly. Maybe. Okay.
Rad. Yeah, we're here. It's what is it? It's the last what's in your earbuds of June. So
It is the last What's in Your Earbuds of June. Which where did this month go? Seriously.
I have no idea. I know it's like we are planning travel for my birthday. I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even realize it was like that even stuck up on me. I was like, cool.
Where are you going for your birthday? Somewhere fun?
I think just down to my in-laws.
Where they stay at?
They live almost. It's like they basically live right at the tri-state area of like Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio.
That's kind of a more country area, isn't it? That should be pretty nice. Like just kind of out in the wilderness.
Yeah, they live in the middle of absolute nowhere.
Well, that'll be
It
good though. That'll be good to get away because I think that's the thing is, you probably do. You definitely deserve a reset. You definitely, you've been burning the candle at both ends. So just to kind of be in a position where you can just go unplug somewhere, I think that would be more than ideal.
yeah, I agree.
But why don't we get into it? Everybody, I see we've got some people. We've got some people filing in. The audience is here. They're ready for us. This is the earliest we've ever like actually gotten this to work. Didn't have to call Jason. Didn't have to do, whatever. Wait, am I on the live stream? Oh, I am
Oops.
on the. Yeah, no, for sure. Jason just texted. He's like, "Oh, you're adding Santino to," but yeah. So what's in your earbuds Monday? Welcome everyone. This is kind
Well,
of we're usually a little bit more flustered right now, but let's just get into it. So Joe and I, we were talking earlier today. Joe found a really great video on YouTube. What's the name of the channel? Is it Behind the Tracks?
yeah, behind the tracks, like just like a happenstance, I found this banger, and I was just like, I watched 10 minutes of it, and I was like, I sent it immediately to you, and then I like went really deep after that. So
Oh no, that's what I was this afternoon. I was kind of getting caught up on some of the other stuff they have to offer, which is it's a really well made video. I mean, obviously, this is somebody who's well connected enough to actually sit and talk to some big time artists. So this isn't just some jackass in his garage doing this or whatever. But these are really made like high quality videos. And he takes like these deep dives into individual tracks. So the one that started it all, and this is going to tie into tonight's topic, was "Loser" by Beck. Now, the interesting thing about that is it kind of gave us a whole background, and I enjoy Beck's work anyway. So Beck is one of those artists that kind of always been there, at least for us. As if you're of a certain age, and just the way. he has evolved as an artist over the course of our lives. I have a shit ton of appreciation for him. But it was interesting that that "Loser" was kind of his arrival track, as it were. And those of us who are old enough to remember, that was a big deal when that song came out, and it's still, I mean, it still gets rotation to this day. Um, but the was it the producer that he had gotten hooked up with had actually worked with Geto Boys, who
Yeah.
can love Geto Boys. And I have a whole rant about how I feel like if Houston would have gotten the third coast representation that Atlanta got, no shade to Atlanta, no shade to Atlanta rap, but I feel like rap would be in a much better place today if Houston was on that same level. So Geto Boys have always been one of my favorite kind of rap groups because of that. And this got us thinking about musical crossovers that you wouldn't necessarily expect, in music and whatever. So it's like, how does the producer for Geto Boys end up basically putting Beck on the map? This is wild to me.
Yeah, that thing. I mean, I did not like. It's like Beck is one of those artists like always loved, always appreciated. But it's like, do I know anything about Beck? So it's like that that deep dive into just that song was like I had no idea, and it was just kind of what was cool is like it's like almost like an accidental banger, and he's just like, yeah, he's just like the chorus. He's like, there was no term for "I'm a loser" in Spanish, so we're just like, this is. I just looked something up, and this like, yeah, I was just
Like
like,
I'm lost essentially was what yeah.
yeah. But so it got me thinking about like crossovers. That's why we're talking about that today. But yeah, I'm still like blown away by that whole series. I barely dipped my toe in that thing, but
No, it's fantastic. And honestly, if you're like I know Joe, you're like me. If you're the kind of person who has to have some background noise on while you're working or whatever, find that channel, add it right now.
yeah, it goes like it's almost like it satisfied like a nerdy aspect into like the music more so than anything. It was just deeply satisfying
Oh,
to watch.
absolutely. Absolutely. But I guess then to that end, what are some other kind of crossovers in music? And it may not it doesn't necessarily have to be a like, oh, did you know thing, but like what are some sort of crossover moments? Of course, you can point to like Walk This Way, tracks like that, where, it was sort of a game changing thing, fusing two genres.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on the one, like, if it wasn't for a Walk This Way, like, I've talked about this many times on this show, but it's like, like, that's what got me started on hip hop. It was like, so then it was like Run DMC, and then I think that led me to like Public Enemy, and then like Rage Against the Machine and Public Enemy were about the same time frame for me because
Sure.
that bootleg album that I've talked about like ad nauseum that I wish I could find again. But and then it got me thinking of like Rihanna being on like Eminem tracks and uh, God, I mean, obviously it's like I think one of the best like crossover albums, maybe not of all time, but certainly like upper echelon is like the Jay Z Linkin Park cross like it's like I'm not like a humongous Jay Z. I mean, I love Jay Z or like a huge Linkin Park fan, but it's just like, damn, if that's not like who would like way to think way outside the box too.
Right?
Because yeah,
Exactly. Well, and
yeah,
that was kind of the thing because not to say that, music is so compartmentalized, whatever, but like nobody would have seen that one coming. So when it dropped, it really sort of blew everyone's mind. And Jay-Z, I mean, obviously Jay-Z is, one of the greatest of all time, but he was just on a generational run at that point because you had the American Gangster album had dropped either not long before or not long after. And then he had done the a cappella version. So like you had a lot of people just releasing their own, kind of mashups of all sorts of different genres. There was a DJ in LA, and I am embarrassed to say I don't remember who it was, but it left such an impact on me. He had done a mashup of the American Gangster album with a bunch of like classic reggae tracks as the backing, as like the kind of background production. Absolutely insane. But yeah, so that all kind of dovetails into that. And then you can see that influence even further today. The one that kind of jumped out at me was Cowboy Carter, and the popularity there. Beyonce again, one of the greatest, and then kind of taking on a not even necessarily new genre for her because she is just all around very talented, but really leaning into it versus just kind of little bits and pieces here. Um, that's probably one of the more recent ones that I can think of. But yeah, there's so many just incredible kind of crossover projects. Another one that I recommend to everyone. I've never actually seen it like for sale. For sale, you can find it to stream. It's definitely owned by some record company. I did actually buy it on vinyl, but it was just a white label. It's a project called Bird Up. So it's a lot of old Charlie Parker tracks, and I think we've actually even talked about this
Yeah.
before. But God, whoever put it together, they just ran a whole gamut. They had like Exhibit, they had Serge Tankian, they had God, I can't even think of Executioners. Just a lot of which at the time were contemporary acts. We're talking 20 years ago now. But that was really incredible too because you're essentially not only crossing genres, but you're crossing eras as well.
Oh yeah. God. I didn't even think of that Cowboy Carter because that's like that was like this for whatever reason it was like controversial, which I don't. I mean, I don't
Well,
understand it.
yeah, I mean, we could get into the
Yeah.
why there, but we all know.
Yeah, we know why,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I was thinking of, man, this might be a deep cut, but when I think of crossovers, I always think about, oh damn, I'm gonna forget his first name. Um, but uh, Whitey Ford sings the blues like from,
Oh,
yeah, God,
with that. God, I always confuse Everlast and Everclear. It was one of them. Everclear was the band. Everlast was the dude.
Everlast. Sorry,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
it's like, and of course, I actually really, I don't know if anybody really liked that album, but I really did like that first Everlast album.
Again though, talk about impact because we were I we were early teens. I was in high school, I remember when it came out. And like you still hear, that the one track gets used in things still to this day. So, you know, it may not have necessarily set the world on fire at the time, but that was a very impactful album, in the long run for sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I just really got into that because like I
Well,
like House of Pain, so I was like, whoa, this is cool, but it seemed like it didn't really land with a lot of
that's the
people. But
whole thing because it's you had what was the collective? Was it Soul Assassins? Was House of Pain and Cypress Hill and shit? I think like Henry Rollins or like somebody that you totally wouldn't expect as well. And there was a lot of kind of blurring lines between genres there. So that was just kind of I guess that would be a good intro album into a lot of their other projects. Nothing really seemed to hit mainstream, unfortunately, but they did have a lot of really cool underground stuff.
yeah, I mean Cypress Hill actually, you touched on that because I mean they did like, of course I can only remember that one song that they did that was kind of a crossover. It was like the Rock Superstar, like that
Oh,
one
Skull and
band.
Bones. Yeah, so it was a
Yeah,
double album. The one album was hip hop, the other album was rock. Yeah, absolutely. And then to
Skull.
take it one step further, Be Real, of course, joining what was the like big super group that was they only did one album? Prophets of Rage, where it
Oh
was
yeah,
Be Real, Chuck D, Tom Morello, and who else? I don't remember. There was like one other, but they were there is actually I think you'd have to go to YouTube for it. I've never found like a downloadable copy, but there's a concert that they did right after Chris Cornell died. And they do a lot of both Audio Slave and Soundgarden covers that are just fucking phenomenal.
yeah. Oh, I mean, how could we not talk about this particular individual? Because Maynard does the Puss's first stuff, which is like almost like folk music in a weird, like what a weird genre that is. But so there's like someone that's like crossing over different genres.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I was thinking about this. Okay, and we've got some audience members in here.
Oh
We've got, of course, Heather. We got Chrissy. We got R. Ryan Reynolds. What's up, everyone? Now, I want to get all of your guys' opinion on this. I think the thing is, we've gotten to the point where we know there's going to be a mention of Tool every time in What's in Your Earbuds. We need to have like an official. I was thinking of Jack in the Tool time from what was that show? Home Improvement.
Yeah.
We we got to get a little sound bite that like the first time that like Tool or Maynard gets mentioned, and seriously, we got to get Maynard on this show. We got to get that sound bite in here. The something Tools proudly presents Tool time. What time is it? Tool time. Whatever this and that. Right? We need that. Like, tell me I'm wrong. I'm turning that over to the
Yeah, that'd be so awesome.
right. But speaking of the audience, it looks like we've already got we've got some input here. So let's just go down the list. So Ryan Reynolds is telling us Sea Change is a masterpiece. Agreed.
Yeah.
Heather is telling us I've seen interesting interviews with Jack White about collaborating with Loretta Lynn to make a yes.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
true. And there was a
that was
and Heather, I know you're watching, so if you remember the name of it, drop it in the thing. But we had watched a documentary a while ago about Loretta Lynn, and like again, very very hard life. Like she legit was kind of down with it when it comes to like the old school like woe is me country, but you know super super interesting, and that would be just like an insane project right there.
Yeah.
What was the movie with Jack White?
Oh damn.
Jack White, The Edge, and
Cold Mountain.
Cold Mountain.
Westerns together.
Oh, what was
No,
that?
but it was a movie about like guitarists.
Oh, yeah, I know exactly what you're talking
You
about.
know the one
now.
I'm talking about, yeah. And he was like playing Coke bottles and shit, and it was like Jack White, I would imagine, is a very insufferable person in real life, but there is no denying how talented he is. Because, you know, he'd be like that, like, very hipster friend that, like, no matter what it is, he's got to do it, like, the difficult way or what. Or, like, the people who are, like, really into audio. And, like, again, it goes back to the, like, it's not enough for them to like it. Like, they get mad if you don't like it. So, like, if you don't co-sign that, like, oh, yeah, no, I totally hear that the tube amp is, like, way warmer than, you know, what. But, like... he would be that dude for sure, but there's absolutely no denying the talent. And again, talk about, you know, kind of crossing genres. He still continues to reinvent himself.
Yeah, because I mean, like, huge Jack White fan, and you are correct. It's like the same people that are like only into film photography, which I used to be. So I'm making fun of myself here, but it's like no, only black and white and only like whatever. Only Kodachrome film and blah blah blah. But it's super interesting guy, and I love when they did like I love it when they like kind of did like the bluesier stuff. It's just like sick guitar player too, by the way. But yeah, you're totally
yeah. Or like Wreck on Tours. I don't understand why that project did not become bigger than it was. Like it seemed like people were feeling it, but they just weren't feeling it like that for whatever reason. But that was almost like I don't know, like old-timey rock revival or something. Just incredible. But yeah, no, Jack White for sure, just uber talented.
Yeah, I love the Wrecking Tours too.
Oh, yeah. So let's see here. Chrissy is telling us Jay-Z intro to Fall Out Boy Thriller always gets her. Yes, yes. Oh, Ryan. William Shatner had some zany albums in the 60s. He put out an album in 2004 called Has Been that was produced by Ben Folds. No way! It spanned all sorts of genres, was poignant and really good. No way! Okay, I'm going to have to look that up for sure. Yep. Like, I know you've seen the one, like Family Guy, I believe, was the show that even made fun of it, like him doing Rocket Man, which... that was wild. It worked. It was like, yeah, he's sitting here basically doing Rocket Man as like a spoken word thing. And he's like taking a drag off his cigarette and like some like real, almost like Jack Kerouac beat poet shit. It was wild. But yeah, no, William Shatner is he's a national treasure from a different nation.
Yeah, something on the wing.
Right? Yes. And we got Chrissy is back with very recent example is the track Robert Smith did. What? Oh my God. Okay, I'm gonna go for a walk later tonight, and I have not listened to Olivia Rodrigo's new album, so that's gonna be what I listen to on my walk. But
Nope.
yeah, Robert Smith did a track on Olivia Rodrigo's new album. Lots of The Cure influence throughout. She's saying, which I mean, how do you not love The Cure?
Right. My only exposure to Olivia Rodrigo is my daughter, and like, and I like what I'm hearing.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, no, 100%. Like again, another one of those artists that it's like I'm not a hater, but I certainly just am not educated enough to like say that I'm a fan either. So I'm definitely gonna give that album a spin when we get done here.
yeah, that'll be on my list to do. Yeah, cool. That's interesting.
For
What
sure.
else?
Oh wait, what's up?
I'm just trying to think of what else. This has got my brain turning. I didn't do any homework for the show, but God, yeah, crossovers. Well, I mean, you can always think about if you want to go way back. Like Johnny Cash was like the king of crossovers because he
That's
was like
true.
he would like I don't know if it was like maybe when he was in and out, or off and on the bandwagon, but he would do like gospel songs, and then like yeah, he would do like more rockabilly sounds. Like he was kind of all over the map with
He was. Well, and you know, another kind of like old school country artist that I think we've even touched on it before, Kenny Rogers. He had like a psychedelic phase. Like, have you ever heard some of that? It's wild.
yeah. Then he did like Islands in the Stream, which is a little bit different than I guess that's more of a duet, but
For sure, yeah.
it's like a far cry from like the Gambler, I guess.
But that okay, so then that makes you think right there. I guess when, say, for example, you have an artist cover, or not even was Islands in the Stream? I don't know. Anyway, to my point, when you have an artist covering another genre, would you consider that a crossover? Like, did you get a chance to listen to the new Social D?
I haven't. I it's been like I saved it since you sent it to me, and I haven't been there. And then like I got sidetracked with the Primus thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I still haven't gotten tired of that album. I must listen to
Yeah,
it probably at least a half a dozen times a day. It's just like on repeat isn't even like the right word for it,
yeah,
unfortunately.
it's really yeah. I've been like obsessively listening to it. And I'm just like, it's just like I think that's just what I needed. Like
Yeah.
it's just like oh okay, I'm here for this
Right.
social. Yeah.
But yeah, to that end, so they have a cover of Chris Isaac Wicked Game,
Oh,
which again, talk about a crossover, but they do a hell of a job on it. And that kind of goes back to the typo negative we were talking about before, where they've had a couple of covering songs that you wouldn't expect a group like that to cover. So
well, I think this counts as a crossover. I mean, think about like Corey Taylor doing like Stone Sour. That's like totally different than
true.
like, Slipknot. And then he did a cover of that Chris Isaac song. I Want to Fall in Love. It's like haunting, but
But yeah, yeah. But he's like legit, like actually like very obviously musically talented anyway, but like a fucking virtuoso or something like that. Apparently, I don't know like the whole story, but like yeah, he's like a music scholar beyond just like a musician apparently. So
yeah, yeah, I believe that.
we got here. Okay. Robert Smith also collaborated with Churches on a song called "How Not to Drown." Okay, gotta look that up for sure because I fuck with Churches. Um,
Oh, not too bad.
Heather's telling us Dr. Lori would point out the crossover of Taylor Swift. Oh, which very true, very true. Yes, Taylor
Yeah,
Swift has evolved quite a bit throughout the course of her career. 1,000,000%.
probably one of like the most like prolific crossovers. I mean, at least of our generation, right? Because like think about like Tim McGraw to like vigilante, is it vigilante shit? Yeah, or yeah. Think about like how big of a difference that is.
That's
Like
true. Wait, is Tim McGraw? Is Tim McGraw the one?
that was like her like I think that was like her breakout song, right? It was just like kind of an acoustic sound, but
Yeah, no, I think so. Well, and yeah, because she was more like, sort of a, I don't even know what you'd call it, like that kind of Shania Twain pop country whatever, but not like the big production. But it was more, I guess, intimate, you would say. But yeah, no. Speaking of Tim McGraw, oh my God, holy hell!
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Heather, oh no, what's up?
I know you're going to go with this. Go ahead. Sorry.
No. I'm going off on a completely different tangent. So we will save that for a second. Let's stay on this track. What's up?
I was just thinking, I guess it's like also maybe we do it, but I consider it a crossover. Is Tim McGraw doing the song with Nelly? What was that song called?
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
It's like who would have ever thought? Who would ever saw those two?
Well, and that
together?
is the thing. It's like, yeah, Nelly, yeah, he sucks now, but like Nelly, he definitely had his moment, and like I think that is the thing, And again, speaking of, going back to what we were talking about earlier, when you think of like the third coast sound, your mind immediately goes to Atlanta. And granted, St. Louis isn't the South; it's the Midwest, but there was still a lot of that like Southern influence that Nelly was bringing to kind of the mainstream that you weren't really hearing anywhere else at that point. So, it's interesting that was not too far after, Andre 3000 saying the South got something to say. And it's like, oh shit, okay, yeah, you really are coming in and changing the game a bit here. Which,
Yeah.
that's the thing is maybe this is just how it always was locally. And we didn't hear about it like on a national level until, say, like a Nelly or someone like that came along. But it is still, it's still pretty incredible when you really stop and think about the kind of fusion, for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
Oh, Lil Nas X, absolutely. Uh, Darius from Hootie and the Blowfish had a successful crossover to country. Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. So Stephen and Heather both pointed that out. If I'm keeping it a bean, I'm not a fan of either, but good for him for doing it. And I'm certainly not going to shit on anyone for doing their thing. Do you remember Garth Brooks took on a whole new persona and made rock pop music? And then Stephen pointed out, yes, he did his crossovers as Chris Gaines.
Chris Gaines.
So what was that like a record label dispute or something like that?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't really remember. I mean, I remember it like because we were alive at the time, but was it the kind of thing where like were they trying to say it was like actually a different person, or like was everybody in on the joke from Jump Street? That's
I don't know because like I remember that it was like so shrouded in like mystery because like this predates like you couldn't just open a thing in your pocket and get information.
right.
So that's Garth Brooks, right? So it's like it's huge. It's like a big deal,
Well, it's
It's
sort
like
of like
yeah,
remember
what?
when Major Lazer just started and Diplo sucks, but like there was probably a good 6-month period where we thought that was a different person. So
Hey, Chris Gaines, that goes way back.
Chris Gaines, that's a deep cut right there. I wonder if like see that's so we're talking about I don't want to spill the beans too much, but let's just say RTB and the EAC, we're working on some really fun new merch that's going to involve us going to some thrift stores. If I can come across like a thrifted Chris Gaines
Yeah,
tee, that's getting heavy rotation right
that
there.
would go so hard.
Right. I may just have to I may have to cheat. I kind of feel like if you don't actually find it at the thrift store, it doesn't count if you like go looking for it online or whatever. But that's one I may have to see if I can find on eBay or something.
What a time that was.
Right. But see, that was okay. And this actually does kind of dovetail. Okay, and Heather was just asking we were going to talk about. So this does kind of dovetail. This was a very weird era in country, and maybe it's just me being a coastal elite dirtbag or whatever. I had no idea. Um, Tim McGraw had a sort of racist period there. There was something about being an Indian outlaw. He said Indian outlaw. And it's like, if you listen to the song, so Heather was talking about whatever. And like, sometimes she'll say some things and I'm like, wait, hold on. Can we go back to that? And she's like, oh yeah, you didn't grow up in Florida. And it's like, no, I did not. Cause like, apparently they were playing this in like the grocery store and stuff. But oh my goodness, like there was a lot of just like leaning into stereotypes, and it's like I always thought Tim McGraw was like one of the non-problematic country artists out there. Like I'll admit I'm somewhat of a fan. I'm a fan of him. I'm not a fan of his music necessarily, but I'm a fan of him. Um, but holy smokes, like so I didn't know if like this was just was this confined to Florida, or was it the kind of thing where like I was so sheltered in California that I didn't know about Tim McGraw singing about smoking his peace pipe in the teepee and shit. And it's like, Jesus Christ, dude, this is like insane.
That I know. I know. I remember you're talking about that. That got radio play here.
Whoa. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah, I just I was totally out of the loop in California, I guess. And that's the thing. Okay, I guess not to like totally bring us down with like weirdness or whatever. But like obviously like casual racism in the mainstream was still a thing in the 90s, but like I didn't think it was still overt like that. Holy hell.
Yeah. God, I forgot about that. Yeah. I remember that. I heard that on the radio. Yep.
Jesus. Okay, so yeah, it was just me being in California that okay, yeah, and Ryan Reynolds is just, okay, yeah, 100%. I apologize. I'm a coastal elite, you guys. I didn't know that this was like how like the rest of the world got down, but yeah, definitely like I said, still a Tim McGraw fan, but I'd shake my finger at him if I saw him and be like, let's talk about what you were up to 30 something years ago. Oh, Steven. Yes. So he wants to know, does Gwen Stefani going from ska to pop count? I would say, again, not a big Gwen Stefani fan, especially not these days. But yeah, if you want to talk about an artist who's crossed over a lot, which, I mean, you know, there's definitely an element of cultural appropriation. But yeah, she's jumped, she's run the gamut of genres for sure, for sure.
Yeah. God, I used to just like, of course, like there was a time in my life when I was like obsessed with Bush, like the band. Uh, and I got to see No Doubt like before they were like mainstream, and it was like the ska sound, and that, like I got down with it, like I liked it.
Wait,
But
was she already married to him back then, or?
yeah, I don't know if they were like together then. I know at one point they were, and then she went to I forgot his name. She yeah, the country music.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, whoever Blake Shelton.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed that. Like,
But,
I knew it as soon as you said it, but I wouldn't have guessed it.
but yeah, so it was like I would guess that could be like a crossover because
Yeah,
then
no,
it went.
I'd say that counts for sure. Which then, you know, it goes back to that conversation we had last week. Like, ska was really big in the 90s, and like, for whatever reason, like, a lot of not even just rock acts, but a lot of rock acts sort of launched their careers as ska artists first, which was again, Sugar Ray is always the one that I go back to, which is it's so weird to me.
Yeah,
um, but like there were others, and honestly, you know, I guess now you got me thinking because we get to set the definition, so we can say whatever. But you know, there was a time when you had a lot of punk dipping their toes into the kind of the ska is an offshoot of punk, or punk is an offshoot of ska. One of them comes from the other. I don't know which is which. Um, but definitely there was a time when like the lines got a little bit more blurred when you think of like Op Ivy and you know some of the more like West Coast 90s punk groups. They definitely had a little bit of a ska sound to them. So there's a lot of crossover there.
yeah. Like the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones kind of had a different sound, like
That's
before.
true.
Yeah, like their like original album was like kind of hard,
Yeah.
remember correctly. And then they kind of switched to that like I guess it's kind of ska, right? A little bit.
I'd say they were, yeah. Yeah.
They're like
Green
ska.
Day.
They've got like more brass.
They were very brassy. Yeah, they were definitely their own sound, but they were very 90s distinctive, which like we were talking about last week, probably some of that like that weird 6-month period where people were into swing might have kind of influenced that brass and stuff for them. But yeah, definitely a lot of like live, sort of like Cake. Okay, like
Cake.
Cake is very hard to nail down. They're a sticky wicket for me. I enjoy Cake. Another one of those groups though where like, you don't want to irritate their fans. Like if you don't if you don't show the same level of reverence for Cake, it's like, oh no, I like them. It's like, no, I hope you die. Like what? No, but yeah, they get very offended if you don't like Cake as much as they like Cake. But
True.
yeah, that was definitely, kind of, again, I would not call Cake ska in any way, but I would say that they sort of mainstreamed a lot of the like live like brass and stuff like that you did here in the 90s, which is weird because like remember in the 80s everything was saxophone and then in the 90s it was brass. Like what was up with that?
They got tired of holding the saxophone, so they're like, let's go.
Let's see here. Oh, Ryan Reynolds, yes. Quote of the day so far. I mean, he sucks, but Aaron Lewis went from butt rock to MAGA country, dude. Yes.
What heartbreaking crossover, because like I'll admit it, I liked Stain, and then whatever happened, oh my, what a huge disappointment.
They had a Tears for Fears cover on that album, if you remember.
Oh, okay. And who discovered, was it Fred Durst that brought Stain?
I think it was Fred Durst. I'm almost positive it was, yeah. I always confused Stained with Disturbed, which they didn't particularly sound alike, but the main guys looked alike to me, and they both ended up being fucking douche canoes, but...
Oh,
let's see here. Oscar Isaac was in a ska band. No way, Chrissy, where'd you get that info? Like Oscar Isaac, like Poe Dameron?
Was in a ska band?
Way. I mean, that guy, he's just like super cool. So I'm sure Joe Pesci was in a band too. I do remember. That's a little trivia. I don't know what kind of band. I think they were like. Was he in a band with like Frankie Valli? Was he?
Yeah.
Was he like an original member of like Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons? So like,
what?
Well, Keanu Reeves still the Dog Star. That's yeah.
Yeah. Kevin Bacon's in a band.
He is. Yes. Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was a blues musician.
That's right. God, yeah.
Travis Barker came from the Aquabats. This is true, and that always blows my mind. I've heard it many times, and it still blows my mind every time I hear it.
Travis Barker did?
Yes.
Wow.
Right?
He's a runner now too.
He is a runner now. He makes he's got like holistic medicines that they sell at Sprouts. I remember one time I was out of BioFreeze, and I had done a DoorDash order from Sprouts, and of course they don't sell that there. So I'm like, okay, well, I typed it in, and it was like Barker or whatever, and I'm like, I never heard of this before. So I looked it up like afterwards. It's like, oh shit, it's that Barker. So yeah, he's just doing a little bit of everything these days, which good for him. I guess that's crossing over not just in terms of music, but in terms of industries as well. All right. And Suicide Machines went the other way. They were pretty poppy and are now more hard. I'm not up on game, unfortunately. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research. Like I know of Suicide Machines, but like don't know history or anything. So
yeah, I'll admit I don't. I guess I'm not up on them. But that's why we have the show.
That's true. Well, and that made me think of. I don't know why it made me think of it because it's not necessarily connected in any way. But do you remember Chino Moreno had a side project called Crosses?
Oh yeah.
They were that I'd put that into a crossover category because they were a little bit more. Not that Deftones isn't dark sounding, but they leaned into it a little bit more. Crosses.
I don't know why I never really gave that a chance. A crossover I really enjoyed is Bruce Springsteen did, because like, okay, all due respect to the boss, it's like he's iconic, I guess, in a lot of extent, but I never really got into like a lot of Springsteen. Like I appreciate it, cool. I like that he's outspoken about things lately. That makes me happy.
Yes,
but he did like a crossover to like like folk music, but it's like real like dark folk music. It was so good. It was like I just remember the title. Like one of them was like the Erie Canal. But like it was, I think it might have been a bunch of covers, but it was like a folk cover of everything. I'll have to look that up again because it's been a long time since I've had it in rotation. But it was like I don't even know how I like landed on this, but it was really really good. So Springsteen did some like he did several crossovers because that was like kind of what like the controversy of like his career building was like he kind of would like buck the trend on what people wanted him to sound like. So that was kind of like him going against the grain was kind of what he did, I think, ever so often.
Yeah,
And
I
that
think
album,
that was sort of his thing when he was, on the come up was, yeah, he was definitely more of a, and I hate how the word has been co-opted now by like, fucking tech bros and whatever, but he was essentially a disruptor in the industry where, he kind of went out of his way to kind of swim against the stream. Which that's kind of how he carved out his own niche and made a name for himself, which, all these years later, he's still, top dog in his corner of the musical universe, which good for him.
yeah. And so I like some of that stuff, but that makes me think about another one. I mean, like look at Bob Dylan. Like he basically, I mean, him like going electric was a huge deal.
Absolutely.
I mean, because he was like such a big part of like the Newport Folk Festival and like that whole movement. And then he like basically said like I'm done, and then went electric. That was like a huge thing. Of course, it predates me being alive, but I know that was like a huge deal. Him going electric.
Yes, yeah, no, and really, Dylan has reinvented himself several times. It's really interesting to think that he's got how old is he? He's got to be like in his 80s, and he's
Yeah.
still out touring. He's still making new music, and like this is just somebody who he doesn't need to. He's a legend. He's legit still just out here doing this for the love of the game. So
Yeah, yeah, and he was like singing about topics that nobody was touching at the time, right? Like against war and like all that stuff. So
oh no, absolutely, absolutely, 1,000,000%. Let's see here. Let's go back to the audience. These comments are kind of piling up. I don't know how like Jason manages to like stay on top of it so seamlessly, but we're doing what we can. I promise you, if we don't get to your comment right away, we will get to it. But Chrissy is telling us that Suicide Machines opened for MXPX earlier this year. The vibe was high, super political. Love it. Heather's saying Trent Reznor has dipped his toes in every damn thing, and that's true. And I saw a comment once, and it was like one of those aha moments for me. Like literally at some point, like Trent Reznor is who we all thought Danny Elfman was growing up. Like, dude is like beyond talented. And then like you see his credits, like you'll be watching a show sometimes or whatever, and it's like, oh, music by Trent Reznor. It's like, wait, what?
yeah,
Like, yeah, he does literally everything. Again, talk about somebody who's essentially kind of like a virtuoso who like it's beyond just a musician. He's got a level of knowledge that I don't think is like normal for most people to even attempt to have. Like it's ridiculous.
yeah. The amount of times I've seen something, it was like a credit given to like Reznor. I was like, what? Like it's
Right?
it's like seeing that, and then like I always think about like how many times you see the Obamas getting credit for producing some show you watch. Like, what's happening here?
Right. But I mean it's good to know that there's still, people out there, working for good like that. It's just it is incredible. Trent Reznor, and so I didn't get to see it, but Nine Inch Nails, they were touring earlier this year, and Heather went and saw them. And apparently that's a hell of a show. I had watched it on YouTube afterwards, but still, and again, it's not that he's like old, but he's at an age where he doesn't need to be, breaking his back like that. He's still, pouring his
Just,
heart and soul into this thing, which is incredible. So
just for the love of the game. That's amazing.
absolutely. There's another YouTube video just to kind of go off on a tangent here, which I need to know if you've seen it. Now, again, our guy Maynard, he's a black belt in some discipline, right?
Yeah, I think jujitsu. I think.
Now, have you seen the video of the dude rushing the stage and him getting him in a headlock and not missing a beat while he's still performing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody look that up if you haven't seen it. It's the wildest thing. Which
Yeah.
again, it's like you'd look at him, and it's not that he's like unassuming, like he's not like an imposing figure or anything, but he's not necessarily anybody who you'd want to like start shit with anyway. But it wasn't even like there was no like panic, there was no breaking a sweat, whatever. He's just like sitting there getting down and like one-handed like fucking wrestles this guy down and gets him in a headlock until security can come take him. It was the wildest thing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Let's see here. Okay, so Chrissy is telling us check out Kelly Holiday's cover of Springsteen's "I'm on Fire."
Oh, I love when people cover that song. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to look that one up for sure. See, this is a good. It's rare that I've got like a ton of homework after one of these episodes, but I've got listening for the next couple of days squared away already, and we've still probably got a good half an hour, 45 minutes of this show. So you guys might have me set for the whole week in terms of what I'm going to be listening to here. Ryan Reynolds points out, yes, Bob Dylan had a gospel phase too. He did, and that's what I'm saying. Dylan has done like a little bit of everything. It seems like Did you ever see the movie he did, Masked and Anonymous?
No, I have not seen that.
It's a little depressing to watch now. So it's essentially like a not too distant dystopian future in America, which with a incompetent dictator taking over the country, and the America just kind of devolves into this wasteland. But he does a lot. Dylan does a lot of really good like country covers in that. So no, Dylan. I don't know that there's a genre that Dylan hasn't taken on. I mean, maybe not like hip hop or anything, but like I'm sure, somebody would let him get on the track. I don't think he can rap, but I'm sure there would be a place for him somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched the Timothée Chalamet like biography movie like 4 times already. Like
It's on HBO Max. I'm gonna have to queue it up.
Oh God, it's so good. It's really good.
That's I had such a bad taste left in my mouth, which it's not the Dylan biopics fault, but I had such a bad taste left in my mouth after the Bob Marley one that I just I'm gonna take biopics for a while.
I think this one does it good. Like, but and I love Timothée Chalamet just because I love the Dune series so much. But so maybe that could be why I'm like biased, I guess there. But
oh no, well, and that's Dune is my absolute favorite sci-fi. And I don't know if it's a controversial take. I fucking love the David Lynch version of Dune. Like people act like it was like the worst thing ever. I mean that's how I was introduced to Dune before the books, before whatever. You ever see Jodorowsky's Dune?
No.
So it's not an actual movie. I believe it's on Prime. You should be able to stream it there. What's the guy's name? Alejandro Jodorowsky, I believe is his first name. The Holy Mountain, the guy who did The Holy Mountain, which that's you got to be in the right headspace for that movie, and maybe clear your calendar if you do indulge. I'd maybe roll one up and kind of be prepared to have your mind blown a little bit before you watch it. But he was originally supposed to direct the film adaptation of Dune and never came to fruition. But it's essentially like the framing device is like one big interview with him, but you're going over like notes and like set photos and like concept art and stuff like that. And it was just going to be like this insane production to the point that just the documentary about it is really interesting. So definitely check that one out if you have the free time, for sure. And Chrissy is telling us that Oscar Isaac's band was the Blinking Underdogs, and they went on hiatus when he left for Juilliard. So I wonder if you talk to like any of his bandmates, like it's like that meme where it's the little kid like making the angry face. And it's like, congratulations, happy for you, whatever. Wonder if it's like that. They're like, oh damn, like we all missed our big break because this guy got famous. Or maybe I don't know, maybe he's still maybe it's one of those things where they do like kind of the intimate venues, the club settings, whatever, this and that, and like you don't know who the artist is that's performing, and oh shit, that's Oscar Isaac up there. Wait a second, like that kind of thing. Which that would be okay. So that's, you ever been to like a show like that where it was like a surprise guest or anything?
Oh, dang. I feel it. I don't know if I have been. I feel like, was it known that Ice Cube was going to be at the Family Values tour when I went there? That might have been a surprise. I think. Yeah, I think that's the only time I've ever had that. It was like speculated that Ice Cube might be there because
For
that was
sure.
like, yeah, I think that could have been the case. I don't know. I have to look that up, but
I
I
don't
know.
know if it. Oh no, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I just remember being caught off guard that he was gonna be there, or like it was a surprise that he was gonna be there. I can't remember which one, but
For sure. I don't know if it counts since it wasn't a like music show, but Metallica once performed at a Raiders game that I was at. That was fucking wild. But
whoa,
that was a long ass time ago, like back when the Raiders played in Oakland and were good. Um, but other than that, no, I had a neighbor who was a total weirdo, so I don't know how true the story is. But he said he was at I believe was it I think he said he was at Aspen Music Festival, and Johnny Cash just like showed up on stage as like a surprise guest. One, and it's like, damn, okay, like I don't know how
wow,
you can really top that, but for sure.
yeah, that's wild.
So Heather's saying parts of Bone Thugs performed at a tattoo convention she worked at, which yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Trying to think, yeah, okay, so I'm sure I've been to like something like that where it's like, hey, wait a second, who's that? And of course, you have like the state fairs and stuff like that, where it's people who they're famous, but maybe I don't know, maybe they're not signed to a label anymore, whatever this and that. I think when Maroon 5, when their career was in a bit of a downswing, I saw them at the Cal State Fair, but that was, they were expected to be there, so that wasn't a surprise. Bonnie Raitt did Rib Fest in Florida. I need to know more about Rib Fest. Apparently,
Oh yeah, we have one in Indianapolis too. I mean, I haven't been, but
is it like a barbecue competition, or is it like
no, I have been because talking about surprises, Shooter Jennings was there, and I was like,
no
what?
way?
I was like, what? I was like, Shooter Jennings, and so I went to Rib Fest. I didn't eat ribs, but I was like, of course I'll see Shooter Jennings for $20.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, no way. Shooter Jennings is another one though who's like way more prolific than you'd realize. So like,
Yeah, he's got his hands in a lot of stuff, which I mean, yeah, I mean, I love Shooter Jennings. Of course I love like the whole Jennings dynasty, I guess, to some extent. But yeah, and by the way, it was really, really good. So I will
the
add that.
the the performance
Yeah, yeah. I
was
was like,
really good.
I can't believe this is on like a 3 foot stage.
It
It's like,
is wild sometimes that you'll be like, okay, so there's shit. What's the name of the beach? Anybody who like was a fucking little rowdy reprobate in Northern California at the same time as me would remember. There was a beach up on the Russian River, Jones Beach. Shit, I should remember. But they had like a little like pavilion. It wasn't even you couldn't call it a stage, that sort of thing. It was like think of like a rundown, like probably it was nice in like the 60s when it was built or something, just totally not maintained at all. Um, and not that they were any big group or anything. They had like one hit song, but like Los Lonely Boys, they did a show there at the beach one time, and it was like, oh my god, these guys are like awesome. Like, how did they not become bigger than they were? But that was probably one of the coolest like intimate venue type shows I saw. Oh, okay, and Adam is telling us Waylon Jennings was a secret guest at Lollapalooza '96 at Deer Creek. Others on the bill included Metallica, Soundgarden, Ramones, Rancid, Screaming Trees, and more. Holy hell! Now that's a lineup right there. Are you kidding me? Like, I feel like I sometimes feel like I missed out because like obviously we had Warped Tour, which I never went to. That was like our big one. But like Lollapalooza, I feel like was the people who were just a little bit older than us. They got to experience that. That was like the straight lineup right there. When you think about like everybody big from their era, they were all at Lollapalooza, and they were all there at the same time. It wasn't like you had to go, different years or different weekends like Coachella or something like that. It's just incredible.
Yeah, I remember. I remember that Lollapalooza. Like Deer Creek's like 30 minutes from here, and I was just like just a little bit too young to go to that show.
Oh man,
Just barely, like by myself, anyways, and my parents
for sure.
would go to that.
No, that's God. When they were talking about Woodstock '94 on MTV, I would have been 11. So I'm like, oh my God, we gotta go, we gotta go, we gotta go. Because like I don't even remember the lineup now, but it was like everyone who was on MTV were gonna, and it's like, yeah, there's no fucking way taking an 11-year-old across country to go to fucking Woodstock '94. So yeah, I missed out on that one. And that's the thing. We have our festivals now, but I have less than zero interest in going to Coachella at this point. South by Southwest I would go to if I could like get the hookup, but it's very expensive for what it is. But yeah, really it was Warped Tour for our generation. And then like you said, Family Values Tour as well.
God, I think I saw that like, was it 2 or 3 years? It was so good. Of course,
No, that was a big one for sure. Oh no, what's up?
there was just like there was a time that I really liked Limp Bizkit. Like I know it's like not the cool thing to say now, but like, come on, like I mean, there was a time when it was pretty fire. I
Oh
mean,
no, and that okay. So that's the thing. It's we Limp Bizkit is essentially kind of the Dane Cook of music. We all pretend we weren't fans back then, but we were. And
yeah.
I have another theory too, because I still on a lot of my running playlists will listen to Korn, and I feel like Korn got a very bad rap just because how closely they were associated with Limp Bizkit. Korn never sucked. They still don't suck. I will ride for Korn.
I think I was like my wife just went to a show of theirs like 3 years ago, and she was like, "Yeah, it was fucking phenomenal." I
Oh
was like,
yeah.
"Yeah,
No, Jonathan Davis was a fucking like performer. You know what I'm saying?
yeah." Yeah, she's like, "It's." I mean, I saw them, early 2000s. That's the last time I seen them, and they were good then. And I think she said like Code Orange opened up for him, which I love Code Orange,
Oh
by the
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
Good, what a sound! But
Now Chris Walsh is telling us, no way. So he went to the first two Lollapaloozas, which, I mean, like, oh, how about Bonnaroo? You ever go to that?
yeah, of course that's something else I've never had a chance to go to.
Because that's a little more local to you. So
Yeah, I know they've had some. Really, I mean, I can't think of any off the top of my head, but they've had some really great lineups. I mean, I never got to go there. Like, I always thought it'd be cool to go to like Farm Aid, like the thing that Willie Nelson does. And
for sure, for sure. That's I don't know. I feel like I've missed out not seeing Willie Nelson perform live. Like he's getting up there now. Like ain't gonna be a whole hell of a lot more opportunities. But yeah, Farm Aid for sure would have been the big one.
yeah,
Trying to think like what else, like because we had obviously that's not unique to where I grew up. I think you had like the kind of smaller venues that would have shows coming through, which again,
yeah.
what's up?
We always had X Fest. I was like, I've been thinking about that. Yeah, that was a huge deal in
That was a
Indianapolis.
big deal. Yeah.
Yeah, God, I was like, yeah, that was like 3 stages. It was like a 16-hour day.
That was like one of the first like multi-part ones, wasn't it? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
God. Wow, I went down memory lane on that one.
Right. Yeah, I'm trying to think like what other festivals. There's got to be some others we were leaving out because like music festivals were big for a second when we were kids, but
Yeah,
there was a lot of like back when House of Blues would do like their touring shows. There was a lot of those that I'd go to because like I don't know what it's called now, but back in the day it was called the Concord Pavilion, and then it was the Chronicle Pavilion in the Bay Area, which saw a lot of. I believe actually that was the first time I saw Cypress Hill was at one of those like House of Blues showcases, which is very weird in hindsight. But yeah. right, we got Austin Aquafest, Broken Spike, Willie and George. That's the thing, man. Austin, they've got the music scene in Austin, which, this is my rant. We have our things we touch on every episode, and this is my rant, is you don't like all genres except country. You just are used to like that weird Nashville horrible pop country sound. Austin, on the other hand, is still, they always have been a bit more of like, again, the outlaw country. It's more soulful. It's less sanitized. It's less yeehaw America. It's just, the Austin music scene has always been sort of a if you know type thing, which is weird considering that's where South by Southwest is. But that's how South by Southwest started. It was essentially like a weekly showcase of like local musicians. So
yeah, there's certainly like there's just a lot of good like country. Like it'll just never get radio play, and I mean maybe that's what keeps it like pure in a way. I don't know, but.
It could very well be. It could be. I had yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those things where, you have to, that's kind of the problem with country, and you're seeing it actually in a lot of other genres now. So it's not just a country thing anymore, but there's just too much money in the mainstream. And I don't want to sound like a hipster where it's like, oh, you've got to, know about this whatever obscure act from whatever, and you have to go to the speakeasy where you got to know the special knock to get in to hear them or what. It's none of that. But I'm saying a lot of the non-mainstream, non-sanitized, very mass-produced sounding music nowadays, you do have to go looking for, and country is absolutely no exception to that. It is kind of unfortunate that every time you do see a sort of country artist, becoming big off of the more kind of outlaw country sound or things like that, suddenly, the industry is kind of tamping them down a bit. So there is something to be said about, kind of keeping your ear to the ground, not just for country, but if you are interested in, if you're country curious, definitely look to the underground. You're not necessarily going to find like the broadest catalog on Spotify or Apple Music, whatever. It's essentially like the SoundCloud rapper days, but for country, and really for hip hop again, for rock. There's a lot of really great underground stuff that just is not getting the airplay because it's not McDonald's. It's not mass produced enough. Sometimes McDonald's is fine. I'm not going to sit here and shit on. I certainly listen to plenty of mainstream, but sometimes you need that palate cleanser. And unfortunately, in this day and age, you don't have the record store where you can go buy, whatever that, there was only 500 copies pressed on an indie label or whatever this, that. You have to actively seek it out. And a lot of it is, kind of doing the legwork. Which that's another fun thing about crate digging to me is sometimes you'll stumble across, some absolute gems just based off of nothing other than I've never heard this before. And it's, a few dollars. I'm getting it and I'm bringing it home to listen to.
When's the last time you bought an album strictly because you just liked the artwork? Like the cover was cool. Like I miss that.
Boy, that's a good question. I got to think about that. I'm sure.
When's the last time I've done that?
I actually haven't gone crate digging in a couple months, which I need to. But I'm sure it'll be the kind of thing where, like, as soon as we're done, I'll walk in the other room and look at all the cover your ears, music purists. I'll look at all the vinyls and. And I'll be like, oh yeah, that, and that. But I can't think of it now. There are certain albums where it's like, even if this album sucks, I want it just for the cover. So. Which that goes back to our conversation from last week. Well, and we were talking about Primus earlier. A lot of the early albums, and especially like the EPs that were harder to find, like they had the best cover art. Not that Primus sucks at all. I fucking love Primus. But like the cover art alone, like why were they not like the kings of merch with that art?
I used to have a "Sailing the Seven Seas of Cheese" T-shirt.
Nice,
I
nice.
would do anything to have. I might have to do some eBay digging and see if I can
Right?
find.
That one or the Frizzle Fry album cover with the like
Yeah.
the like Play-Doh head in the pan. Like, love it. Yeah. That's kind of a lost art too with digital media now, not to sound like an old guy, but like the actual like just looking at the cover. Like, yeah, you get cover art on your phone and it's like it's cool. It's even cool, like some of them are like animated and stuff like that now, which I do love, but it's not the same. You're not like holding it in your hand and like zoning out while you're listening to the music or whatever.
That was good times.
Oh, totally was. Totally was. Oh, Joey joined us.
Oh, what's up, Joey?
buddy?
Joey Huertas? Or...
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What's up, Joey? I now have two Joeys on. No.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, yeah. I have to be more specific these days.
What's up, Joey? How you doing? I forgot what we were talking about, Joey.
Well, we're all over the place today. We were originally talking about like musical crossovers and somehow got into festivals, crate digging, and now we're currently on cover art. And I'm trying to think of like, I don't like what are some like mind-blowing album covers? There's a lot of really good ones, but
I remember the ones that used to scare me was always the Molly Hatchet one. Like I was just terrified as a kid of those.
oh, okay, so now we're about to go off on another tangent. I don't remember what race I was running, but for whatever reason, I think Heather's dad, he wasn't feeling well, was having some health issues, something like that. So it's like, okay, what song should I put on my playlist for this race as a tribute to him? Apparently, not to totally get into like the family messiness. Apparently, when Heather's dad and mom got married, he wanted Gator Country to be a wedding song. And her mom absolutely put her foot down. So it's like, fuck it, I'm putting Gator Country on my playlist. And now, for whatever reason, Apple Music thinks that like and this was like years ago. Apple Music will still, when you know how it has like the custom mix for your, it always fucking throws Gator Country in my mixes, and it's like, oh, I hate this song so much.
Oh. Oh yeah, my mom had like all their vinyl, like they had the albums, but
their aesthetic definitely did not match their sound. That's for sure.
Not at all. You would think it'd be the most terrifying death metal band ever, and
right?
like,
Yeah.
Good stuff.
For sure.
Let's get to go on the playlist.
Oh yeah. At this point, we gotta add Gator Country to the playlist.
Oh my goodness.
But on that note, speaking of the playlist, what are we up to?
Oh dang, I forgot to check.
Oh.
But I think we're close to set. Of course, I still have to add all of these from our last show.
Oh man. Okay, so yeah, that's probably a good 2 hours worth of music right there.
Right there. This is mostly just me doodling nonsense, but so these are all songs.
Oh no. No, and I love the artwork too. Is this just like a mindfulness practice or just something for fun?
I don't know. I was just like scribbling these weird little like faces. I don't know why, but
dude, like speaking of artists, like you are a jack of all trades. Like, come on, you're an illustrator, you're a woodworker, you're an engineer, basically. Like you're one of the most artistic people I know, and I grew up in a family of artists.
Yeah, I wish I had. It's like I wish I had more time just to be creative. It kind of bothers me sometimes, but yeah, I'd like to think that I am like creative at least to some extent. But.
For sure. Wouldn't that be? You ever watch those videos? And there's a lot of them that are AI now, but we're talking about like the old school ones where the dudes would just go like out in like the woods and like build a fucking like not even like a little lean-to or something, but like a nice almost like cabin out of just like found wood and stuff. Like wouldn't that just be like such a fun thing to do? Like,
oddly enough, I watched I don't know why I watched I get into like the bushcraft videos, But I found one. It's like there's no talking at all. It's just a guy with some tools, and he will build like a freaking underground log cabin.
The dude
With,
and his dog, they're like somewhere in Europe, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that dude is wild. Yeah.
Just like with a hatchet, he'll build like complicated buildings. It's
Yes.
I
No,
can't
so
get.
my parents turned me on to that because I was staying at their house last year when I ran SF, and I don't know, I'd like taken a gummy or whatever, and I'm all like, your legs are dead after running a marathon anyway, so I'm just like sitting on the couch, and they had put it on. It's like, oh my god, this is like I'm addicted now. There's a
Yeah,
certain like ASMR element to it or something, which I can't fucking stand ASMR, but on that side I get it. Like there is something like almost hypnotic about that dude's videos. Seriously.
I mean, I'll get lost in it. I'm like, holy, like it's really cool.
No, it totally is. It totally is. But that's what I'm saying. Like, wouldn't that be cool to just like say you had like a month to yourself and you could just like go? And I'm not necessarily like, skilled like that, but still it would be cool to just kind of spend that time like out in nature and like make something like that. Like I think we've kind of all, we all struggle to maintain some level of creative spark. So, you watch something like that and it's almost like it not almost it is it's very aspirational actually.
Yeah, agreed.
And Chris Walsh agrees with us too. He says those are fucking cool, which they are.
It's so cool. Yeah, the dude talks every once in a while, and the rest of it's just like, yeah, he built like tree houses and shit. I'm just like, this is crazy.
Yeah, with like an axe, like you said, he's got like an axe and like a handsaw and maybe like one of those like old fashioned like
Yeah,
auger drills and stuff. And it's like, how are
yeah,
you doing this?
captivated by it.
Right? But yeah, no, I mean, I guess we're a little over an hour. We never stick to an hour, and that's perfectly fine. And I'm really glad that everybody hung out with us. We had a lot of fun today for sure. But do you have any sort of parting thoughts at this point, Joe?
No, just thanks for hanging in there. I get, as the show always is, we kind of end up all over the place, which I think is like the charm of the show. And I like that even when we do take those weird tangents, you like all kind of hang out and chime in. So
That's the thing. I really think so. Jason and I were talking about since they're out here now, maybe doing some like lives where we're in the same place. But I think obviously not day of, maybe as part of like the festivities leading up to Hustle or something. I think we have to do like a live where it's like all of us. And then we can kind of have everybody just like have people pop in and like hang out, which is another reason if you haven't registered for Hustle in the Heartland yet, get on it. Like, what are you waiting for? It is going to be the biggest party in the history of Run Try Bike so far. So far. So that's what I'm saying. You do this one, you're going to want to do the next one too. But make sure you're registered. This thing is going to be, it's, you have no clue the fun you're going to have if you come hang out with us.
yeah, I'm really looking like what's cool is I'm like signups are rolling in. So yeah, definitely get in when you can. I want 100 runners. I think we can do it this year. But what's really fun is like some of you that have signed up are repeat runners for this, and that makes me super happy because you can get anybody to spend their money once, So it's like for people to come back, just it speaks to how great I think this event's going to be this year.
That's what I'm saying. It's you do it once, you're going to want to come back. And like I said, we're going to make sure that obviously, Joe, you're putting your heart and soul into this thing. It's going to be the premier event on the Run Club tour. But beyond that, again, we're going to have a lot of ancillary kind of fun things, hang out, go get pizza, just chill, get coffee, whatever. We want you to come hang out with us. And that's where I'm saying, like, what if we did an episode? It wouldn't be a Monday necessarily, but what if we did an episode of What's in Your Earbuds Live with all of us? And rather than typing your comments in the comment section, you just jump up and come talk to us face to face. How cool would that be? Come on.
That'd be so cool.
Absolutely. So something to think about. We're winding down here. I want you to go register right now. You're on Ultra Sign Up, correct?
Run sign up, yeah.
Run Sign Up. Okay, yeah. Run Sign Up. You've already got your account. You're a runner. It's that Face ID on iPhone. You don't even have to put your password in. just go sign up right now. You will not regret it. It is going to be one hell of a party.
100%.
Absolutely. Now, beyond that, one last thing I need to remind you is if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like and a follow. Drop a comment in the box below. If you're listening on whatever your favorite podcast platform is, make sure that you give us that 5 stars and leave a comment. If you feel we don't deserve 5 stars for any reason, reach out via DMs. We'll get it figured out for you. We are here for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And
And
keep the songs coming. Keep the songs coming. We're at well over 75 hours. I do remember that. So
absolutely.
we're cruising on that playlist.
I think it might be a tall ask still, but I think 200 hours is not out of the question for this year.
Yeah.
So if we can get there, it's because of you guys. So to that end, Joe, do you want to give them the traditional sign off?
Yes. See ya.